Here we have the Elgato Wave DX, a dynamic vocal microphone that is really built for voice. It has a great representation of the human voice, a good top end, a good articulate top end, a present low end, but it doesn't take over everything. And those low mids are kind of carved out just a little bit. So whether you're gaming, streaming, podcasting, YouTubing, creating content, whatever, if this mic is one that you would definitely want to look at. It's also not that expensive, usually around $99 or so. Now, we can't really talk about vocal microphones for podcasting, gaming, streaming, YouTubing, et cetera, without mentioning the Shure SM7B or SM7DB, which I have right here. So this is the Shure SM7DB. Now, the only difference between the Shure SM7DB and the Shure SM7B is the Shure SM7DB has a Cloudlifter built in. So, if you know anything about the Shure SM7B, you know it generally needs a Cloudlifter because it takes a ton of gain to drive this microphone. It's also a rather expensive microphone at around $500. So listen to the sound of this mic. Do you like the sound of this mic? Well, that's up to you. Now, I do have effects turned on right now, just basic things, EQ, compression, de-essing, et cetera. We're going to turn those off in just a minute, but I want you guys to have, the best comparison that you can, depending on how you might use your microphone. So again, Shure SM7DB, a $500 microphone. Back over to the Elgato Wave DX, a $99 microphone that again is really tuned to voice. Between these two mics, you probably definitely hear that the Wave DX is a little more present overall, whereas whenever we switch back over here to the Shure SM7DB, it's a more warmer, thicker sound, right, with a larger low end and a lot more of that low mid-range presence. And that's why I generally sweep out some of that mid-range with my EQ. So there's my EQ shape there on screen. You can see it right now. That's what I always use for this mic, at least for my voice, because it kind of builds up in that area and it can make things sound a little bit mushy if you have other audio going on underneath it, things like game audio, streaming, whatever. Okay. Back over here to the Elgato Wave DX. What do you say we turn off all effects? Okay, so now all effects are turned off. You're hearing the Elgato Wave DX completely raw. Again, a mic really tuned just for the voice. It's it's got great overall construction, that all metal construction here. It has sort of like half a yoke, so we can get different orientations. So if you prefer to have your mic up like this, you can do that very easily. I can have it stick out like this. I can have it down in this orientation. Just really, really however you want, especially once you use the Wave Mic Arm Pro as well. Great mic arm. I did a whole video on that mic arm. Probably my new favorite mic arm. But again, this is the Elgato Wave DX, completely raw. Right now I'm about 3 to 5 inches away from this mic, which is generally about how far you're going to be from this microphone. But I could go farther out. So now we're around, I want to say about 10. About a foot away from the Elgato Wave DX. Do you like this sound? Do you not? Well, again, up to you. Not really meant to be used this far away. It's really meant to be used somewhere between, say, 3 and 6, maybe even 8 inches away. You can probably get by with that. But 3 and 6 inches is generally where you're going to be with this microphone. Of course, you can get even closer if you want. If you want to exploit that proximity effect, so I can come in very close here and say, in a world where one man fights for justice. And then come over here to the SM7DB. In a world where one man fights for justice. So overall, a totally different tone from the Shure SM7DB here. Like I said, a much warmer, rounder tone versus the Elgato Wave DX, which has a bit more of what I would say is more of a natural tone, whereas this is much more of a warmer tone over here on the SM7DB. Now, to be fair, the SM7DB does have some switches on the rear to cut off that low end without using EQ and also to boost the presence, again, without having to use EQ. So real quick, just for the best comparison that we can do between the SM7DB and the Elgato Wave DX, let's switch on that low cut. All right, so now we have the low cut on here on the Shure SM7DB. Shure SM7DB with the low cut. Back over here to the Elgato Wave DX, already tuned for voice, so that low end and the low mid-range is already carved out to give you the best overall sound, especially once you have game audio. Because again, if you have game audio with too much low mid-range, it's gonna turn into mush. No one's gonna be able to hear anything. Okay, so back over here to the Shure SM7DB with the low cut now. we're going to pop on that presence boost of the Shure SM7DB. So now it's the Shure SM7DB with the built-in low cut and the built-in presence boost. Back over here to the Elgato Wave DX, a $99 dynamic microphone, really built for voice, already tuned for voice. Professional microphone, XLR port there on the rear. All metal construction, as I mentioned. Really get it in any position that you want. Cardioid pickup pattern, front fire or end address design. Over here, again, to the Shure SM7DB with our low cut and our presence boost. And now I've turned both of those off, and now we're back to flat, and what a huge difference that is, right? Like I said, a very warm and round microphone. Again, you can choose whatever mic you want. I just want to give you the best comparison that I can. So back over here again to the Elgato Wave DX. Back here again to the Shure SM7DB, completely flat. Back over here again to the Elgato Wave DX. Now again, the Elgato Wave DX has that cardioid pickup pattern. So, you can be off axis with it if you want. It also has a built-in pop filter, which actually works pretty well. If I go pop, 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 directly into that capsule, it actually does pretty well. It's going to reject sound from the side and the rear. So if I go over here to the side, you're not going to hear nearly as much audio. If I come over here to behind it, and now it's rejecting much more sound, which again is what you want, especially if you're in a room where you're gaming or something and you have your speakers turned on, right? One more time, folks, just come here about the same distance away here. This is the Elgato Wave DX, the Elgato Wave DX. This is the Shure SM7DB, the Shure SM7DB. This is the Elgato Wave DX, the Elgato Wave DX. This is the Shure SM7DB, the Shure SM7DB. Now we're going to head in to the unboxing segment, and we'll go into some more specifics about this microphone, the Elgato Wave DX. All right, take a look at the box. Feel free to pause if you want to read this. And I am using the Elgato Wave Mic DX with some EQ and compression for this voiceover. All right, let's pop open the box. There's your quick start guide and the microphone. Here's a look at the guide. Again, just pause if you want to read this. This is a front fire or end address microphone, which means you speak directly into the front here and not the sides. It's a dynamic mic, so no need for phantom power. It has a cardioid pickup pattern with a frequency response of 50 Hz to 15K. It has an internal pop filter to reduce plosives. The grill and the body are made of metal, and it has a quality feel to it and weighs about 1 pound. The XLR port is on the rear. It has a mono swivel mount, so you can really get, any position that you want with this mic. And it has a 5/8 inch mount with a 3/8 and 1/4 inch adapters. To connect it to your audio interface, plug an XLR cable into the mic. It could be the Elgato woven XLR cable, which actually has a pretty nice woven jacket, but it could be any high quality XLR cable. There's plenty out there. Plug the other end into an XLR input on your audio interface, then turn up the gain, and that's it. Okay, so then you're ready to stream with OBS. Just select the proper input for your audio input capture, or of course, use it for Zoom calls, or even record in your DAW. All right, so that is the Elgato Wave DX dynamic vocal microphone, the microphone that is already tuned to your voice. Great for those who don't want to have to do EQ or anything like that. They just want to hook up their mic to their audio interface and start streaming, gaming, podcasting, etc., etc. So if you want to pick one up for yourself, of course, I'm going to have links in the description below. Comment below, which microphone did you prefer? Did you prefer the Elgato Wave DX or the Shure SM7DB, the Shure SM7DB, or the Elgato Wave DX? Well, the choice is yours. They are both indeed very good microphones, but they are at different price points, and they do have overall different tones, different sounds. So what you prefer is the one that you should choose, because again, they're both great microphones. All right, but once again, this is the Elgato Wave DX. Go check it out. Again, link in the description below for the Elgato Wave DX.